up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Weekly Square Gamers podcast, where some dudes get around, talk some shit about some video games, and anything else that comes to mind. Now, I'm Mike. We got Pedro and Jay. What is up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Doing well, sir. You didn't call me a woman today, so that's a good thing. Starting off pretty good.
Hey, don't make fun of my ladies and gents. It comes out of my mouth. It just flows.
A lot usually comes in your mouth, but this time it's coming out of it. So.
Whoa, bro. Only on Saturdays. And today's Thursday. Only Saturdays. Hey! Okay, guys, let's jump right into it. Now, we had a little announcement going on today. E3, guys, it's right around the corner. We're talking, what, 3 months away from now? 2 months from now?
Pretty much. I think it's 2 months from now. Yeah, June 17th, I believe.
June 17th. Yes, I'm not going to do the math. Yeah, I did math. But no. Guys, open to the public for the first time ever. You guys excited for this? Are you guys going to spend the $250 to get in? Or the $150 if you're early bird, as far as you buy the ticket by Monday? You get a discount for $150. It's in Cali, so who's going there? Who's going to spend the $800 to get there?
Well, when I seen this go live, I was like, man, I would go so bad. Like, you know, if I would have had a little bit more of a heads up, I would absolutely love to go. The real expense that's attached to this is, you know, getting a hotel out in California that's even anywhere remotely close to where the convention's going to be held. But I think it's awesome that they're selling, you know, tickets to the public this year. I think that this is how it should be. I don't envy the lives of these journalists that are going to the convention trying to get interviews and do their jobs, but it is cool that, you know, 15,000 gamers get to go to the convention and nerd out. I think that's really dope.
I mean, if you look at it, you know, 15,000 tickets, they're probably going to go rather fast. And like you mentioned, the hotel situation, that would probably be fucking bonkers price-wise. We're talking probably what? Anywhere from $80 to $120 a night?
Oh, God, dude. You're thinking of Florida prices. Over there in California, dude, I would say if you find a hotel, like even a hole-in-the-wall place will probably be upward of $300.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
what do you think, Pedro?
Yeah, man, this is going to be great for local businesses around the area. It's probably going to suck for anyone who's going to go to E3, though. It's probably going to smell like sweat.
Caca.
Crazy BO. So, I mean, just, you know, keep that in mind.
BO, Doritos, and Mountain Dew.
Oh, for sure. So keep that in mind. The cool thing about it is you may meet some of the people from the media that are going to be there, because of course you have your IGNs, your GameSpots that have booths and stuff there, so you may be able to meet some of them. But I think honestly I'd rather go to a PAX than an E3.
Because I think PAX is a little more what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little more
friendlier for the gamer.
Yeah, exactly. E3 has always been a commercial, not really commercial, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's like industry, like within the industry event where...
Yeah, developers trying to sell their tech, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's cool that people are going to get to go, but we're going to move on. Speaking of E3, guys, with E3 right around the corner, Phil Spencer tweeted out some pretty interesting stuff that Pedro hit up on the group, and it's actually rather interesting. He said, I feel very good about this year. Should have more 1P or first party games than last year. The great diversity, launching new IP, good year. Now, they then released the Greedfall trailer, which Pedro, you and I watched this trailer. Are you excited? Because I mean, I'm excited. It's actually looks pretty cool, and it's an RPG, so it's right up my alley. Based in the 17th century Europe, so it's gonna be like a fantasy RPG based in the older times. I'm excited for this. This looks really good. To what the trailer showed, it showed some like native or almost like we're talking Indian. She to me she looks more like what they call a shaman, where she's like earth magic, and because she fucking summons this big giant like wooden demon with her. Oh, it looks pretty dope. What are you thinking, Pedro? Like, are you hyped for this? Even though this is kind of way left field, this isn't like a mainstream game.
For the record,
You know what I mean?
Greedfall is not an Xbox exclusive. It will be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because if you go to their website, it says coming soon to PC and Xbox One or Xbox.
Yeah, it'll be
or
cross-buy,
Microsoft.
cross-play, but it's not going to be... Like, I'm looking at the teaser review for PlayStation 4 right now. So it's
Okay, because if
Shit.
you
definitely...
go to the
changes
actual, yeah, because if you actually, the game's being developed by a company name or a developer named Spider, which I've heard of them, but I never played any of their games. But if you go to their actual website, it just shows Creedfall, and it says Microsoft PC is what it says. So if we are getting this for the PS4, I mean that's kind of sick. I don't have to go out buy an Xbox One or buy the Scorpio to play this game.
Yeah, I mean, according to Destructoid, they are definitely coming out for the PS4. So, which I'm not gonna say whether or not Destructoid is correct yet, but they're reporting it is going to be a cross-platform, across all the platforms. Cool thing about this game, while we're still on the topic of this game, is that all the choices are going to matter. Apparently, the Spider CEO states that with affecting relationships with characters, in-game decisions ranging from seemingly trivial choices to the most political decisions will influence and affect its course. So,
Fable? Are they going a Fable route? Are they trying to?
hopefully it's deeper than what Fable's done though.
Well, Fable 1 was amazing. Fable 2 was really good. After Fable 2, it went completely weird. The actual franchise went completely the other way, and I didn't like that. But now hearing you say that, that's kind of extremely interesting, because if they are going the Fable route, where because in Witcher, Witcher's the same way, but this game doesn't look as, what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't look as realistic or more like in plain sight than The Witcher does. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, this could be cool, and it coming to PS4 would be kind of dope. But why would? What I'm understanding is do you think they're trying to do like a stagger release where maybe Xbox One, Xbox Scorpio, and Windows gets it maybe a couple months before PS4, or is this just, you think this is come out all at the same time?
Well, I mean, I don't think this is gonna be one of those games. It's kind of like Destiny, where Destiny is a cross-platform game, but it's mostly marketed for the PlayStation 4 crowd. I don't think this is the case, man, with this one. I mean, I wish it was. I wish Xbox kind of got that marketing for Greedfall. But I'm reading the PlayStation blog right now. The CEO of Spider wrote an article, a blog post for the PlayStation blog. They say Greedfall is planned to launch in 2018. So for those people that saw Greedfall coming from the Microsoft YouTube, thought it may have been a Microsoft exclusive. It unfortunately and sadly is not. Now, I mean, that's not to say that they may not have anything special planned for an Xbox Scorpio.
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope so. Jay, you want to weigh in on this, Jay? Because I know you were a fan of Fable back in the day, in the older versions.
Yeah, I'm just surprised as you guys are that this isn't an exclusive. I really thought it was when I was watching the trailer. That being said, it looks pretty interesting. I thought that weird monster that jumps out at the end, he looked very vicious, and I look forward to seeing more of this game. I look forward to seeing some actual gameplay footage before I, weigh in on, whether I'm interested or not. But as of right now, it's cool that we're getting a new IP, so there's that.
It's interesting you say huge monster, because the second you said that, it dawned on me. What was Scalebound?
I was just gonna say,
Scalebound was yeah, a person and his partner or the dragon, it feels to me that maybe they let go of Titan or Scalebound because it had so many problems, and it had a game like this coming up behind it as well. Because this game had to be in the making for at least a year now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Interesting. Speaking of E3, guys, what are you guys wanting to see out of especially Xbox? Because PS4 has been in the lead now for the last 2 years of the generation, even the whole generation. To be honest with you, what are you guys looking for from Xbox? What do you guys want to see as first party games coming from Xbox?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I just want to see some new IPs from them. We're seeing these new interesting IPs pop up on PlayStation left and right, and I'm still looking for that game over on the Xbox side of things that's gonna sell me on a Scorpio. And I thought that it was gonna be this Greedfall game, but now that I know that that's gonna be multi console, I'm still trying to find that one game that's going to get me to buy a Scorpio. It's probably realistically going to be Crackdown. I think that's the game that's going to get me to buy a Scorpio. So I hope we get to see a shit ton of Crackdown at E3. I hope it looks super rad. And that's the one thing I'm looking for out of Microsoft right now is just some new IP.
And as far as you, Pedro, what type of games are you wanting to see coming into E3 from Microsoft?
I think that the biggest game that they're gonna come out with is probably the Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is gonna be one of those games that will probably be very polarizing. I think a lot of people love the idea of playing as a pirate and kind of getting with your friends and having and controlling a pirate ship and stealing stuff from other people and all that other stuff. But if it's not executed properly, that could be a huge failure for them because they've been teasing this game for the last 3 years, and this should be the end all be all. And especially with the Scorpio out, I think that this is going to be one of the main games to come out for the Scorpio. But I will agree with Jay that 2017 will be. If it's not the year of Sea of Thieves, it'll be the year of Crackdown, and I think Crackdown will be the game to show off why you need to get a Scorpio from a technical standpoint.
Because I mean, looking at Xbox right now, there's not much right now that's wanting me to buy it. Now, you bring us Sea of Thieves. Now, is that still more of a mass multiplayer online almost, kind of like where it's like not quite MMO but bigger than the average multiplayer game?
I mean, the way they're presenting it, I'm gonna imagine it being like a Destiny but with pirates.
Okay.
And doing pirate
I mean,
stuff.
that sounds dope. I mean, because excuse me, having those kind of games that have kind of like a longevity to them to make you, you can have time to invest. Because one of the worst parts about buying games nowadays is you have to look at your options. Like, look, do I want to spend $60 on this 12 hours that I'm actually going to play this game? So I think Microsoft should hit us with those kind of titles where they're giving us a plethora of content with their games, especially with their first party games. But I would really like to see. I would really love to see another RPG. Now, I was hoping after seeing Greedfall and expecting it to be first party, I was like, wow, okay, this might be their RPG to kind of like bring people in, because RPG genre isn't as big as first person shooter, but still people like to play it, and those are one of the games you can expect to get 30 to 40 hours out of. So that's kind of a letdown to know that this isn't a first person or a first party game. So I want to see another RPG. Crackdown looks cool. I'm not a big fan. I've never been a big fan of Crackdown. I'll live vicariously through you two, going over and checking it out. But RPG, bro. We need an RPG. Like, yeah. Xbox needs an RPG. Not Destiny.
They need some stuff because, bro, in terms of exclusives that are coming onto the console between this year and the next year, they need to start coming up with some IP because, again, we got Horizon Zero Dawn coming. We got Days Gone coming. We got Sucker Punch's new Spider-Man game that's coming, and it's exclusive to the PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, where is Microsoft's IP at. I know that they're sleeping on something. They've been way too docile. I feel like this could be the year that they come out swinging, and I really hope for their sake that it is. I want to see them do better, and I want to be sold on the Scorpio. So
I agree. I mean, just look at the game that released on Tuesday. Noah, another PS4 exclusive, which is getting fucking crazy reviews.
yeah, it's
And I'm excited.
looking good.
I'm excited to get my hands on it here soon. Probably the next couple weeks, I will be playing that shit. But we're gonna move on, guys. We got a little game we're gonna play for you guys, and we want to hear you guys' your comments about it after you guys listen. We're playing a game called One Has to Go. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna name off some games that's been out for a while, or games of the past that what if they weren't there? What would happen? What would happen to the game industry if those games were not there? Now, I'm going to go first, and I want to hear you guys' solid opinions on this, because my choice is clear. Halo 1, Street Fighter, World of Warcraft, Tomb Raider.
Just to
What do you guys
be
think?
clear, the rules of the game is this, right? You get a set of 4 games. The title's called One's Gotta Go. So out of those 4 games, one of those we will choose which one we could live without it being part of gaming history. Just so the listeners are clear, that's how we're gonna play this game. Sorry about that, Mike.
You're good, bro. Halo 1, Street Fighter, World of Warcraft, and Tomb Raider. Shoot. I go I go Tomb Raider.
I would go. Damn. I'd probably go Street Fighter, but that's just because I'm not that big into fighting games. But I know how important that game is to the industry. But I mean, all 4 of those games on your list are pretty important to the industry. Man, yeah, I guess I'd have to go Street Fighter.
Pedro.
So we've got Halo 1, revolutionary game, revolutionized the first-person shooter genre, was the epitome of what a first-person shooter should be for years, at least until Call of Duty revolutionized it again. Street Fighter is the premier fighting game. It's been that way for years. World of Warcraft is the most played game of all time.
Yep.
Ever. Tomb Raider. Without Tomb Raider, you would not have games like Uncharted. Which one of those have to go? I'm gonna go with Street Fighter, man, and the only reason I'm going with Street Fighter is because Tekken. You still have Tekken, you still have King of Fighters, you still have Killer Instinct, you still have Mortal Kombat.
But think about it. Think about it. If Street Fighter, the original Street Fighter didn't come out for the TurboGrafx 16, the original Street Fighter was called Fighting Streets. Then it came out for the Super Nintendo, or after the arcades. No other fighting game was in existence when the original Street Fighter came out.
Yeah.
No other fighting game other than a couple trashy ones back in olden days, like TurboGrafx 16 days.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Ed Boon and them boys would have still made Mortal Kombat had Street Fighter not been out. So I'm gonna have to say Street Fighter. You gotta go, bro.
I like that. I like how none of you guys picked World of Warcraft either. World of Warcraft is by far probably the most revolutionizing game on that four game list.
Yeah.
Just for some reason that game's fucking 15 years old.
So, yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I played it too. So I played it for 5 years, and it made almost $1,000 on selling my characters when I quit. So.
And then the way I was looking at it is, if you get rid of World of Warcraft, like, does that mean that we don't have a Overwatch game? Like, because a lot of the things that they did in World of Warcraft that worked, they brought over to Overwatch. So, that influenced that game so much, and I love Overwatch so much. So it's just one of those things, man, that that's a really tough list. But again, if you're not into fighters, then Street Fighter don't mean much to you.
All right, Dro. Run your list, my man. What do you got for us?
All right, so the list of my four that we're gonna go with is Mario 64, Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid, and Final Fantasy VII. Jay, I'm gonna let you have first dibs at this one.
Yeah, so the one that jumps out at me is Metal Gear Solid, but it's a double-edged sword because like that franchise is a little too weird for me. I could never get into the story in those games, but you know, if you don't have the Metal Gear Solid games, then that means that you don't have the Kojima that we now know, which means, you know, the new IP that he's working on doesn't exist either. So that's hard to take that one away. But then when I look at it, it's like, how can you not have Mario 64, bro? Back in the day when my parents were too broke to buy me a console, I would go up to Blockbuster Video where they'd had the little kiosk so you could play games, and I would literally spend 6 hours up there playing Mario 64. It's one of my most beloved games of all time. So much has been borrowed and copied from that game. Then you have Legend of Zelda. This one, without a doubt, has to stay. You cannot have Ocarina of Time. Like, that's probably one of the best games of all time. And then Final Fantasy VII, I mean, that's all fans are looking forward to right now. Like, they want this Final Fantasy game so bad, and you know, it's again, its influence on the industry is ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Metal Gear.
Well, Jay, I do agree with you. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is the greatest game of all time. I fucking love that game. I must play the game for maybe thousands and thousands of hours. Mario 64, I played it. I've never been a huge Mario fan. Hate me, shoot me. Send your hate mail to my Gmail. Final Fantasy 7, my most favorite Final Fantasy series game. All the other Final Fantasies to me were kind of blah. Final Fantasy 7 was fantastically made. Metal Gear Solid, other than the first couple, I never really enjoyed. Peace Walker was the last one I enjoyed, and it was on the Vita. And I enjoyed playing on the Vita because we had a couple buddies, Daniel Rosario in the group. Him and I got to play that together. That game was a lot of fun. But I'm going to have to go with Mario 64 because of the simple reason that Mario was around for a while before that. Mario 64 didn't need to happen, but it was a good game. But out of the four, that's probably my least expected game. You know, I don't think industry would be hurting that bad without a Mario 64. There will still be Mario.
I don't understand that Mario 64 didn't need to happen. Quote there, sir. I think Mario 64 was a revolutionary game. Again, something that carried the gaming scene into its next evolutionary level. I mean, Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time is gonna go down as probably one of the greatest games of all time. That game, and as a person who grew up with a disdain for Zelda, I absolutely love that game. Metal Gear Solid carried the PlayStation for years. I think that was the premier game on the PlayStation console. If this game didn't exist, I don't think that, you know, the PlayStation gets off to the start that it did. Final Fantasy VII to me is a very overrated game. A lot of people seem to love it. It's a fan favorite, beloved. Pretty sure it's Nate's favorite game. So, sorry about that, Nate. But Final Fantasy VII's got to go.
Oh, well, before we move on to you, Jay, I do want to mention Metal Gear Solid. At the time, Metal Gear Solid, the original, came out on the PS1. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I fucking remember fighting Psycho Mantis and getting my ass kicked over and fucking over and over again. I'm saying to myself, how do I beat this bitch? And then my buddy down the street was like, hey Mike, have you beat Psycho Mantis yet? I'm like, nah man, I can't beat that dude. He's fucking tough. He knows what's coming before I even do it. He goes, oh, just put the controller in the second port. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, just put the controller in the memory card in the second port.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? Like this whole time I could have just put the controller and the memory card in the second slot and been fine. Like,
And that was a time too when we didn't have the
Internet.
at our disposal to go on and just kind of Google it real quick and see what you got to do. So I mean that's pretty crazy.
Okay, Jay, you got 4. What's your 4, bro?
All right, so my first game is Far Cry, the original Far Cry game. Then I have The Last of Us, followed by Destiny, and then Killzone, the original.
You want to take this one first, Joe?
Yeah.
You want me to take it first?
I'll take it first. The original Far Cry, Last of Us, Destiny, and Killzone. I'm gonna get
reasonings behind. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go.
I'll tell you my reasoning afterward.
I'm gonna go without Far Cry. So Far Cry, you gotta go. I'm gonna keep The Last of Us. I'll keep Destiny, and I'll keep Killzone.
I actually didn't expect that. I'm actually a little different. I enjoyed the hell out of Far Cry. I haven't played Far Cry in the last couple of years, but the original Far Cry was a blast. And then which one was it? Far Cry, the one where you're on the tropical island. Jay, what's the name of that Far Cry?
That is the first one.
With Voss.
That's Far Cry 3.
That was probably the funnest Far Cry game I played. So Far Cry has to stay. Without the original Far Cry 3 wouldn't have came, and Far Cry 3 was actually a hell of a game, a blast. Spent a lot of time on it. Last of Us. Now I've never actually played this game completely through, but to what I've known, without its story and the way they presented it, I don't think the game industry can do without a game like this. It's I hear it's amazing. Destiny is a great game. It's one of the first of its kind, hybrid RPG, first person shooter, MMO. Really cool. Killzone, in my opinion, is a subpar shooter. The original Killzone was good, but as Killzone progressed, it slowly got a little lackluster for me. So I'm going to pick Killzone.
Yeah. And the reasoning that I put Killzone on there is because I figure without Killzone, Halo doesn't have, anyone going up against them. So, they could have got complacent maybe, but, the creators of Halo always knowing that there's a Killzone out there in development, maybe it kept them, trying harder than they would have had it not be there. So I feel like it's kind of important to the industry because of that reason. And Killzone 2 was a game that was way ahead of its time and really good game. And then with Far Cry, like you said, Mike, without the original Far Cry, you don't get Far Cry 3. And I think Voss is the best villain to ever see a console game in history. And for me, I had to have Far Cry on there. On my list, I think the game that I would take away would be Killzone as well. They always were trying to be better than the sum of their parts, and they are no Halo killer like they always tried to be. So I think on that list, I'd get rid of Killzone as well.
Well, I'm glad we're in agreement, Jay. Pedro's the only one that I guess doesn't like Far Cry.
Yeah, bro. Far Cry 1 was trash, man. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, the only reason I got into Far Cry 4 was because Jay gave it rave reviews. But other than that, man, I mean, I haven't had a fond memory of a Far Cry game before that. I played the shit out of Far Cry 4 though, which was dope.
Bro, going to the enemy encampments and being able to approach it however you want. Other games try to do it like this, where you can either use stealth or just go in guns blazing. But I don't feel like any game's been able to do it as good as Far Cry. And now that they've added the mechanic where you can use animals at your disposal as well, there's so many different ways that you can take over an enemy stronghold. And a lot of leaders in the industry that talk about this game, they all say the same thing, where they wish they could have a Far Cry game that was nothing but you trying to take over these enemy territories, and like all the different ways you can go about doing it. It's a very smart game. The stealth in that game is like better than any other stealth game that I've played. Being able to use, poisonous darts or darts that turn the enemies against each other, and then, the silent snipers, like it's got it all. Like the stealth is amazing.
The only problem I have from the Far Cry was, if I remember correctly, Ubisoft first tried that mechanic with Far Cry, and then it ended up in fucking Assassin's Creed, and then it ended up in fucking Watch Dogs, and then it ended up in all these Ubisoft games. Yeah. And at the end of the day, Far Cry was the only one that did it right.
Yep.
So, I mean, I understand that point. But before we move on, guys, is there anything you guys want to plug in? Is there anything you want to talk about, Jay? You got how's your Witcher 3 going on Twitch?
Actually, I took a step away from Witcher 3. That game's mechanics are a little hard to get over, man. Like, you ever played a game that you love the game, but you have to fight the controls so much that it just really just takes you out of it?
Yes. I totally agree.
Witcher 3 is that game for me, dude. I feel like the controls are so trash. And after playing, I played Tomb Raider right before it, and those controls are like some of the best controls I've ever dealt with. So I tried to power through it, man, and I couldn't do it, so I stepped away. So yeah.
and Pedro, what have you been playing lately, Pedro?
I mean, football season's over, so Madden, I'm not playing that anymore. In between that weird time where like I should be playing my backlog, but then again, I really don't feel like playing my backlog, and I want to play something new. I can't wait till Horizon Zero Dawn comes out next month, and that'll take my attention. So for now, man, I've just been binge watching television shows. Shout out to The Young Pope on HBO. Definitely check that out.
Good shit. Pedro is a series guy. Pedro, So what is that about? Is that on HBO Go, correct?
That is on HBO Go. The show The Young Pope is basically about an eccentric person who takes over the Catholic Church as the Pope. Imagine an eccentric guy like Donald Trump running the Catholic religion, and that's all you need to know. The show is very political, so if you are a fan of shows like House of Cards, then this is definitely one for you. It has, of course, it deals with the Catholic religion, so you will have some talk about, God and spirituality and things like that. But I mean, watch the show for the way this guy maneuvers through the political landscape that is the Vatican, and what they try to do in terms of, to create scandal and things like that. It's a very good and very interesting show.
Well, there you go. I might actually have to watch that with your HBO Go account.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
what
no.
You been playing, Mike?
I actually, For Honor, the beta just came open this morning at 9 p.m. We did a 2-hour stream earlier with one of the group mates, Maximus, Mad Max, man. A lot of fun. The game is extremely, extremely difficult. It's a frustrating game. Until you learn the mechanics, the game becomes extremely frustrating. But at the same time, when you do understand it, it is extremely rewarding for the simple reason that it's very precise. And you know how I am with those kind of games. I like those kind of games where I can be precise and manipulative and shit like that. It's really cool. But we did stream it. We're probably going to stream it again a couple more times before the beta. It runs from this morning at 9 all the way up until Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the game releases on Valentine's Day. So for all you guys that don't have dates, make sure to go get it For Honor because it's a lot of fun. We have a quick look / review up on our YouTube page. Make sure you guys go there and check that out. I show you some footage if you haven't seen them already. Then also go to our Facebook group page, Square Gamers /groups, all that good stuff. Check out our Twitch. Jay will be back on there soon, other than the For Honor, so make sure you check that out.
Yeah, I'm going
Guys,
to be doing the Resident Evil 7 Let's Play, so yeah, definitely keep an eye on the Twitch.
Oh, yes, and then our Resident Evil review will probably be up at the end of the week sometime, if not weekend of next week. So, guys, you guys be safe. We'll talk to you guys next week. Peace out.
Later.
Peace.